Cool.
Should I hold on? Allow me to.
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
go.
Right.
Oh, oh,
Wow. We are really honored to once again get a chance to speak with Chris and Shane Houghton from Big City Greens, which is about to celebrate 100 episodes. We are joined today with Tony, who has been a great advocate for the show amongst our team. He's gotten everyone engaged watching it, and we love the episode. We love the show, and we are so honored that they are celebrating their 100th anniversary with us with their specially themed attire and their sibling shirts. So Tony, why don't you talk a little bit about your love of Big City Greens, and then we will get with the brothers.
Real
Oh,
quick,
beautiful.
I
Okay.
have to take these off because I cannot see a thing.
true. I wore these on my drive to work this morning and crashed 3 times. So
Yeah, they are celebratory, but not functional.
Is the car as strong as a Clutch and can handle
uh,
those hits?
Clutch
if
don't
only,
budge.
if only. I didn't stop, so I guess
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, stay in hiding in that office then. I'm Tony. As you all know, it's so good to see you guys again. Chris, Shane, I haven't seen you guys in almost a year now, since the premiere of Spacecation. So somehow you got a movie before 100th episode. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, I
yeah.
know. Yeah, I don't know if the math checks out on that or not, but we're very excited to have our 100th episode premiere.
Now, as we talked about before, I get really into the weeds with this show. I love it so much. The universe just keeps expanding and getting bigger, and its big city feels so lived in and real. In your opinion, though, how has Big City Greens outlasted so many other series that have even run alongside it at the same time? You're in the middle of season 4, 100th episode, and you have season 5 coming up ahead, where others barely make it through their first season. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's taken a lot of bribes and covert operations, a couple of quick assassinations, and just crushing the competition. I don't. This is the TV business. It is so unpredictable. It also is. We are so grateful to be here, and it's really due to the audience. The audience is the reason the show has continued to last as long as it has. We've found the audience. The audience continues to grow. The character people just love the characters, and I think that's a part of the keys to longevity. I think it's less about maybe the competition that's out there because there's tons of great shows that are still being made and doing great. And
Some of your alumni has gone on to make their own shows. I'm thinking of Natasha Klein and Primos immediately. So
exactly, yeah.
That's
So,
right. And Kiana Consmith just came out with an amazing pilot. I'm going to butcher the title, but Shane, help me out. Pretty please. I don't want to be a magical girl.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. An
Yeah.
independently produced pilot. Yes, we just have an incredible crew and cast. And like Shane said, it's the fans driving everything. If the fans didn't watch, this all goes kablooey. But pair, a hungry audience with an amazing cast and crew, and a couple of insane showrunners, and then support from the studio, and I think that's the best you can do to line yourself up for any kind of success in this business. But we've also, Shane and I have been really proactive since day one in trying to expand Big City Greens. It's a TV series first, but we were one of the first shows. We were the first show to partner with Disney's multi-platform team to produce short form content. And we've always been doing that. We've been doing that for years, making Big City Green shorts for YouTube and social media and stuff. I remember, I think this was like 2018, 2019. I met a kid at a convention, and he was young. He was maybe like 7 or 8. And he told me, "Oh, I love Big City Greens," and we were like, "Oh, that's so great to hear. What's your favorite episode?" That kind of thing. And he was going on about the show, and he said, "I love Big City Greens. I even like the long ones." And I said, "What do you mean?" And what he was talking about was the show. He meant the long
yeah,
ones was the 11-minute cartoons. So that really solidified it for us. that, okay, kids are being introduced to Big City Greens in a variety of ways. So we've always chased that, whether it's, our partnerships with ESPN doing the NHL
Mhm.
specials. Now we got cricket on TikTok doing
Yep.
this puppet cricket. And we really want to expand Big City Greens. And that was also the impetus for the movie. So it's always kind of this challenge of, how can we grow the show beyond the show.
Do you think there's over 100 shorts on YouTube of Big City
Yeah,
Green?
definitely. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, right. I know.
I'm gonna go back and run numbers on that, but yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, you have Broken Karaoke, you have Theme Song Takeover, you have How Not to Draw,
Mm-hmm.
any of the Road Trip, I think was
The
another
road
one.
trip ones, either were
Yeah,
part of the Chibi verse, which is kind of all
the
of Disney
Chibi-verse, yeah, Chibi
TBA
Tiny Tales.
characters.
Yeah, we had the Country Kids in the City was a round of shorts we did. That was our first round of shorts. So yeah, there's been a lot, which has just been great, and it's been great to watch Disney embrace that kind of like expansion, because that was always kind of our excitement about working at Disney was, hey, if you have a hit here, it can really expand, and how big can it become?
Now, I'm gonna jump
Question
into the
I
middle
have
of my
is,
line of questioning. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
oh no, it's. I remember first hearing about Big City Greens at like the end of a Fish Hooks panel at Comic-Con. They showed the trailer or teaser trailer. Do you ever, now that you're at 100 episodes, do you ever look back and try and put yourself in the shoes where you are pitching the show and developing the show and waiting for the show to roll out, and to now you're everywhere. I mean, you work your ESPN, as you mentioned, and these shorts, and you have fans, and there's merchandise. You know, can you still relate to the person who was working on the show before it came out? Or does that just feel like eons ago?
Yeah,
So that we were it was at the end of a DuckTales Comic-Con panel.
that's
And
right.
so DuckTales was the big push for the series at the time as the DuckTales reboot. And Chris and I were in that room, and it was electric. Like they did this whole bit where they were like, oops, we're accidentally showing art that we're not supposed to be showing, and they were revealing which characters were going to be in the series. It was very exciting. We were like sitting in this room, and it was just electric. Just the vibe was incredible. And then at the end, they did, or maybe it was at the top, I don't know, somewhere in there, they did a teaser and they showed our main title themes. And it was okay. It was not the same feeling as like what DuckTales was getting. And at the time, we were down at Comic-Con, we were at San Diego, and Chris and I wanted to go, but we weren't sent there by Disney or anything. So we just went and we stayed in a hostel because we didn't have a lot of money, and so it was very different times. I think nobody knew what the show was. It was very much like an underdog show. Even at the time, Disney was trying to figure out where all their shows were going to be produced, and we were off in this other building that was like kind of far away. The executives weren't in the same building as us, so we were kind of flying under the radar for those first couple of years, which I think helped. It just allowed us to really figure out what we wanted the show to be, train the crew up in the way that we wanted to, teach them how we wanted the show to work. And over the years, now we've obviously we're experienced showrunners now. We know what we're doing. And Chris and I just hit our 9-year anniversary of being in production on the series, like last Friday.
Wow.
April 25th. So it's been a long time. So we are very different people now. But I do think back to when we were developing and how we were. I think we've always been pretty ambitious for what we've wanted out of this show. We've always been very driven. And the show has always come first in terms of like, we want it to be good. We want it to be funny. We've tried to protect the characters over all these years to make sure they don't change too much so they become unrecognizable or their character breaks. So there's been a lot of that over the years, but I don't know. I do think about those early days, like when we used to be doing comic books and going to comic conventions. I kind of romanticize those times because they were really good times with lots of great memories. But I'm also so grateful for what we've achieved in that time and what the show's become. It's just been massive. What do you think,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I remember a time, I've told you this before, Shane. I remember a time where this is early season 1. So this must have been like fall of 2016. We were just starting to crew up and really get to work on production of season 1. And I remember those days are really, really long. And I remember leaving. We were in a little building in Glendale. We shared office space with Yellow Pages. And it was like the strangest working environment. And we had our editors in a basement, and it was all moldy. And it was like really, really scrappy. But I remember leaving the office one night at like 10 p.m. and I just had this feeling in my chest, almost like Christmas morning, that type of like excitement where I was like, wow, I think we might be making something that's really, really exciting. And I didn't mean it in the way of like patting me and Shane on the back, but it felt like, to make a successful TV series, like we kind of touched on earlier, there's a lot of things that need to come together and align. And I remember that night in particular, like driving down Brand Avenue in Glendale and just like feeling so tired and giddy about like what the show could become. And then fast forward to now, like, yeah, season 5 and everything. And just the other day I saw online, sometimes I'll like check this, Big City Green subreddit or what's going on X or whatever. And I saw someone complain about the show. They said, this show's everywhere. It's an industry plant. And I thought, oh my God, we've made it. Like we've made, if someone thinks the show was, was kind of created in a laboratory and kind of pushed on them, it's kind of a testament to how hard we've worked to get it in front of them. So yeah, I'm so proud. And to answer your question, Ben, I don't know. I'm a ghost of my former self. I barely remember him.
Now, we've talked about ESPN. You guys mentioned DuckTales. I think, Shane, you just said it about the Comic-Con thing. You guys have outlasted the reboot of DuckTales, which was 3 seasons. You're 4 going to 5. But DuckTales has something that you guys don't have yet. And I don't know if you could talk about this at all. But you guys have yet to break into the Disney parks.
Yes.
I know I pitched a thing once about you guys taking over the fan favorite Living with the Land at Epcot, the greenhouse boat ride. But what would you guys like to see if that were to ever come into being?
Yeah. Like the Country Bears has a whole section that's like, hey, stick the greens in there. They get along with those Country Bears.
Yeah, dude, if the Country Bears are in the parks, there's room for other IP,
Yep.
But seriously, like, we're coming up on our 100th episode, which in a way feels like, as much as it's a celebration, I'm hesitant that it could be interpreted as like a sunset of the show, which it is very much not. I mean, we have no plans of ending the show anytime soon. And I think the big reason for that, I think, is we have just touched like the tip of what Big City Greens could be in terms of growth at this company, and in terms of fan engagement. I mean, for every diehard fan of the show that we have, there's like 10 other people who have never heard of the show.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room for growth. And yeah, if anyone from the park sees this.
Now, you said there's 10 people for every person who has seen the show who haven't seen the show. What episodes would you suggest for them to jump in and like, okay, you need to watch this one, you need to watch this one, you need to watch this one, you need to watch this one. This is the base of it. Which would you suggest?
Oh man, that's a tough
question. This is a hard question.
Yeah.
Because it's there's so much. I do think part of the reason the show is successful is because you can jump in on any episode.
Yes.
I think we always hear about people who are on vacation and they're staying in a hotel and they turn on Disney Channel and Big City Greens is on and the whole family stops and watches it. And
it's on for 6 hours at a time too, by the way. But yes.
Exactly. It's like always on. So I think that really helps, that it's like, if you're at all interested, catch any episode, start anywhere. You don't have to start at the beginning. You can jump around, just whatever tickles your funny bone, and in those icons, in the thumbnails on Disney Plus, like take a look and see what you think. Start with the 100th episode. Like that is doable. We are not a heavily serialized show where it's like if you miss that one, you're not going to get this one. It's a family sitcom, and
it's up to us to make episodes that could be an audience member's first episode. And if we can't grab them with a random episode, then we've failed to do our job. So I like your answer, Shane.
I'm still harping on the writers and the board artists that it's like within the first 3 lines of an episode, one character has to say the other character's name. It's like, because I'm always thinking like, if that's somebody's first episode, let's just say who the people on the screen are. Obviously people know who are fans, but for new people, I'm always thinking about that. Like, if this is somebody's first episode, Cricket should say Remy's name, and Remy should say Cricket's name.
You said that comment, and now I'm thinking back, and I might need to go rewatch a lot of them, because yes, that's 100% true. At some point, everybody will say each other's name.
Yeah.
For a while in the show, there was concerns that like the audience wouldn't understand what the premise of the show was. So if you go back to like some early season 1 episodes, a lot of episodes start with like, well, now that we're in the city and we were previously in the country, or now that we've moved to grandma's house and we weren't here before, we lived on a farm elsewhere.
Which gets more convoluted come season 3 when you guys do go back to Smalton and this country.
But it also like doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it's about these people. Who cares where they are? I think it's
the audience is smart. If you really care, as an audience member, you'll pay attention to those details and be able to follow along.
Great for anybody new, even better for those who've watched the whole thing.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
But ahead of time, I'm going to eat up a little bit of time here. I'm sorry. Ahead of time, before I saw you guys last year at the premiere, I was with one of our colleagues, Mr. Mike Celestino, and he was like, what episodes do I need to watch to understand this movie? And I said, none of them, but here's a few to kind of ground you in the world. And I obviously said the pilot, which is when Cricket tries to launch into space. Basically any of them with Gwendolyn Zapp. But I also threw in Animation Abomination.
Fun.
Squashed, the season 3 Halloween episode. And then Believer, when Bill is and just to understand the humor, are there any do you agree with those?
Those are great. And what I love hearing about these lists, because there's a lot online too of people being like, here are my favorite episodes or here are my least favorite episode, is there seems to be no consensus, which I love. It seems like everyone kind of has their own list, which I think is a testament to the show and just to people's tastes. I love Bill Lever. I also love like Handshaken was
oh my gosh,
a recent favorite of mine. I just thought that was so funny. But
what's funny about Bill Lever is Anna O'Brien, the director of the movie, was a writer and storyboard artist on that episode. And I wonder if part of the reason you're picking up on that is like Anna's got her fingerprints all over that. And Squash, she directed Squash.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So I wonder if you're picking up on like that Anna O'Brien.
And that was just a small sampling of the list. I can give you the whole one, and you can tell me if Anna's on any of those.
Oh yeah. Run us through.
Oh, okay. It was Welcome Home, Photo Op, Elevator Action.
That's all Anna.
Yep. iFarmBot, Super Grandma, Fast Foodie, Animation Abomination, Squashed, and Delivernator, and I can't read my handwriting here. Car Trouble.
Anna boarded on Car Trouble, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Anna worked on a number of those. But we're singling out Anna because she's helping us run season 5 after she directed the movie. But also there's, like John Wallach, our supervising director, has been with us since day one. He helped write and storyboard a number of those episodes, or helped direct, or Raj Brujman or Jen Begman. There's a number of Ariel Vrayson Harrell, who was the co-director on the movie. A number of just really hilarious, funny people who have been with us for so long. I love that list. That's a great list.
Awesome. That was just for the movie too. I didn't even think about it as the series as a whole, but he was just.
I wonder if we did something else that like John was to head up. I wonder if you would single out like episodes that John had a heavy hand in, because I think what stands out about Anna is because you're talking about the movie. She directed the movie, but like a lot of those episodes you mentioned just have her like tone all over it. And so I think after seeing the movie and you're thinking about the series, you're like, oh yeah, these
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
And so that's spot on. So I bet if we singled into one thing for one of those other artists, you may pick up on that because there's a slightly different like tone when somebody's running or working on an episode. Like Carson Montgomery is one of our writers, and his episodes have this flavor to it that is so unique to him. And it's the combination of like his flavor and Laura's flavor and Nate's flavor, all of our different writers that together makes the series, but they kind of feel a little different, which I love because it gets that variety for the show.
Yeah, I think recently we calculated that Carson had written the most episodes out of anyone on the crew. He's been here the longest. I think his tally's up to like 60 episodes or something crazy like that.
Yeah, 11-minute episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get to that real quick because we're on the 100th episode, which is why we're talking today. We got so misconstrued in your presence and your history and everything like that, whatever. But we're here for the 100th episode today. You just said there's 11-minute episodes, so it could be argued that they've had more than 100 adventures, but that's not why we're talking. We're talking 100 episodes of 30 minutes. Out of everything, what would Cricket say about the 100 adventures?
His look back on the whole.
Yeah, the whole shebang.
What a ride, baby. What
Yeah.
a ride. And much more to come. Much more. Yeah, I mean, my goodness, who would have thought there's such an appetite for a scrappy little mischievous boy, you know? Just don't look at Dennis the Menace, Bart Simpson, who's Cartman. Yeah.
So we're gonna pretend I haven't seen it yet, but what do you guys have planned for the big 100? Anybody we could expect to hear maybe or characters to see?
Oh yeah. So the 100th episode, it's a big half-hour special. It's got it's normally our episodes are 22 minutes. This one's 25. Got 3 additional minutes of fun stuff in there. It's a massive episode. The crew really went all out in making it beautiful and funny. It goes above and beyond. One of my personal favorites is we have a guest star. We have Mark Hamill coming in. He voices a new character, this back alley mystic named Archimedes. He's this really weird, really funny character. And getting Mark Hamill was really cool and special because we wanted to cast him back in season 1 in an episode. And we did, and we recorded, and he came in. But that was the only episode that was shelved. It never came out. And so to get him back for the 100th episode felt right that we could finally get him back in a big momentous way. And then in doing so, we looked back at that episode that we shelved back in season 1, and we were like, can we rework this and bring it out? Can we release it? And so it's actually going to be, that episode is going to be part of the season finale of season 4. So the last episode, it was an episode called Hands on History. And we've retitled it to Rehashed History because we are rehashing our old history. It's a really fun episode. So Mark Hamill will appear in that as well. And he's just an absolute delight. Like, what a legend, you know?
Very nice. Now, real quick, I asked Cricket what he would think, but let me check my notes. What would additional voices say about... I'm joking.
Honestly,
that was for Shane.
What about Wholesome Greg? What would Wholesome
I was
Greg
going to say, that's actually what I have right here. What would Wholesome Greg say? No, do check note bit. So
Greg, he would say, Chip, why am I not in this episode? And Wholesome Greg's not in this episode. He's not in the 100th episode. But I did voice the chicken in the 100th episode. So
among those additional voices that Shane performs, the chicken. Whenever there's a chicken, it's Shane.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully this isn't too much of a spoiler, but there's a giant chicken in the 100th episode. And that was a lot of fun. I like Godzilla. I like big kaiju monsters. So it was fun to do our version of that with a giant chicken. And it was cool because I got to fight Chris on screen, you know?
That's true.
And the chicken and Remy, they have it out. So
All right, I'll admit that I have seen it and I very much enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to how the audience responds to it, as I'm sure you guys are as well. Um, you had me crying at one part and then cackling at another, but I look forward to it. I look forward to season 5. I look forward to whatever else everything comes. Guys, thank you so much again for all your time. I think we're gonna wrap up. I know we've eaten our time up substantially, but it's always a pleasure.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for having us on. It's always great talking to you guys, and we so appreciate all the support you've shown the show. And thanks for watching and continuing to watch. A lot more Big City Greens to come.
Yeah,
And congratulations.
absolutely.
I mean, that's 100 episodes of bringing that much joy into the world and bringing families together with a show they can watch and have fun with and enjoy it on all sorts of different levels is quite the accomplishment. So you should be proud of yourselves. You've come a long way from that hostel, but we appreciate you taking the time out, and you appreciate you creating the show because we love it here. And thanks, Tony, for advocating for it and making sure everyone at Laughing
Absolutely.
Place loves Big City Greens.
Yeah, thank you. But that is so nice to hear, Ben. It's such a joy to hear from our fans, whether it's kids writing in fan letters and sending drawings, or hearing from parents or grandparents, just anyone. We're like Shane said earlier, we're just so immensely grateful for everyone who has either stuck with us for 100 episodes or who are just joining now. So thank you both for having us.